begin today a new Perek, Beis Hashem Yisbarach, the fourth Perek of Masechta Gittin, Daf Lamed Beis Amud Aleph. Zok Heilige Mishnah, Hasheleach get lishtei. A person sent a get with a shliach to his wife. So this is a shliach lo ilacha that's delivering the get for his wife. But then he had to change her heart. So v'higia b'shliach, he encounters the shliach that he sent to deliver the get. Oy sheshalach achrav shliach. Or he not himself encountered the shliach, he sent after the shliach a second shliach to go and find him. And v'amaloi, and he tells the shliach, or the shliach tells the shliach, get shenasati l'cha, this get that I just gave you, batlo. It's batl, nullified. No, he doesn't want him to deliver the get. So how is a batl? So he can be mevatel the shlichus. Kidem eitzel ishtoi, if a person went not to the shliach that he sent, but he went ahead of the shliach. He didn't know where he could find the shliach, and he doesn't want this get to be given to her. So he went directly to his wife. Or he sent a shliach, a second shliach, to go directly to his wife. And he tells his wife, get sheshalachti l'cha batlhu. This get that I've sent you is batl. Hareza batl. So then the get becomes batl. You can't, there's no more shlichus here. If already the get reached her hands, she already received the get from the shliach. So then shuveni yachal avatle. So then you can't be mevatel the get anymore because she's divorced. What's this? There's no point of being mevatel now. The Gemara will actually ask. This is so obvious. Once she's divorced, what is there to be mevatel? Sagt Mishnah weiter bari shaina. In the beginning, haya oise bezdin b'makom acher umevatle. The husband did not have to go to the shliach himself that he sent or to his wife to let her or him know that he was mevatel the get. He would just put together a bezdin wherever he was, and he would just notify them, this get that I sent with the shliach is batel. That's it. And then you would have to hope that what he says to this bezdin here will get the information, will get back to the isha, so she should know that she's not divorced. His can Rabbi Gamliel Azakel instituted shli yoisen came. You shouldn't do such a thing. You can't. And he says that this bittul will not take effect. You can't be mevatel the get in front of a bezdin in a different place. If they take an oilam, in order that things should be running in the way it should be in the world. As Rashi here says, what happens if she doesn't find out about this and she thinks she's divorced and she goes and gets remarried? She gets married to someone else. The children will be mamzeidim. A terrible thing. So therefore, you must, if you're being mevatel the get, you must tell it directly to the shliach or to the isha that you were mevatel the get. The first case in the Mishnah, when it says that he sent the shliach, and then the Mishnah said higia b'shliach. It doesn't say in the Mishnah higioi. Higioi means you were looking for the shliach. You were chasing or running after him, and you reached him. That's what higia. You reached him. It doesn't say that in the Mishnah. Ele higia. Just one letter. The difference here. So, but it says higia. What does higia mean? You encountered him. You weren't looking for him. You were just traveling, or you went to the store and you happened to bump into the shliach that you sent to deliver the get. That's what I mean. Even without looking for him, but you happened to find him. So why is the Mishnah being medayik to say it so? That even if you encountered the shliach unintentionally and you told him to get his bottle, that the bittul that it will take effect. So the Gemara explains the chiddush here is v'lo yamrinan, even though you just happened to bump into him. So I'm not going to say the following: the very fact that you weren't running after the shliach to find him, but you just happened to bump into him, and you tell him, "Oh, by the way, are you the guy that I sent with the get?" Forget about it. Don't deliver the get. But this is not a small matter here. I mean, if the person wants to be mevatel the get, so he should be looking for this person. It's not a b'derech mamela that he happened to find him. So it would look like that he stops saying so l'tziyura the kamachav. He just wants to antagonize his wife. He wants to cause her tsar. That he's not going to. He doesn't really want to be mevatel the shlichus here. He just wants to be mitzayah her. So that's why the Mishnah is saying that even though he just bumped into his wife, nevertheless, the shlichus is batel. So according to Rashi, the pshat in the Gemara here is as follows. If you learn the simple Gemara, it would seem like l'tziyura kamachava means he stopped playing around with her, and he's not serious about this. The fact that we see that he didn't run after the shliach and stop him shows that he's not serious. But Rashi actually it seems like has a different shot. This is what the Mefarshim here say. L'tziyura kamachavin is also something which we have to take him for his word. He's saying, don't give the get to my wife So that means that the shliach cannot give the get to his wife. even if he's not trying to mamish be mevatel the shlichus, but he wants to be mitzayir. But the fact is, he's the husband. And he's saying, don't give the get to his wife. So how could you give the get to his wife against his will? Mm-hmm. So l'chayre, my nafkamina, if he is actually being mevatel the shlichus properly, or he's just saying so with the intention to be mitzayir, either way the shliach can't deliver the get to the wife. But there's a big difference. There's a few differences, but the basic difference over here is, are you uprooting the whole shlichus? That's what bittul shlichus means. Or no, I'm not uprooting the shlichus. You're still a shliach, but I'm sort of putting it on hold. Putting it on hold. Not sure himself. So right, or he's not sure, or here the Gemara says he wants to be mitzayir her. How's he going to be mitzayir her? By delaying it, by putting the shlichus on. But he wasn't ever mevatel the shlichus. So when he decides that he wants the shliach to become a shliach again, he doesn't have to appoint him again as a shliach. The shlichus is still in effect. It's just a matter of delaying the shlichus. That's the question over here. So this is a very fundamental point for this Mishnah here, for this whole sugya. To uproot a shlichus is a big chiddush. Once you appoint a person as a shliach, Chassam Sofer here says, it's a svara to say that just like if a person separates truma, once you separate truma, then you change your mind. Oh, I don't want this produce to be truma. I want that to be truma. Could you go and exchange it? No. Once it's truma, it took effect. Can't uproot it. So maybe you would think that by shlichus is a similar thing. You appointed this person as a shliach. Now there's a koyach of the Torah that took effect, and that's it. He's a shliach. You can't be mevatel that. There is a koyach that the Torah gives you also to be mevatel the shlichus. But as we'll see in the Hemshech of the Gemara, there's a specific way how you have to say the words. You have to properly express the words in order to be mevatel that shlichus. L'tziyura kamachava means you're not being mevatel the shlichus. He's still a shliach, but he can't deliver the get. Not the same thing. So the Mishnah says no, that even though you just bumped into him, we don't say that you were stam saying this to be mitzayir, but you were take properly being mevatel the shlichus.
What's going to help if the shliach would can't mevatel?
If what?
He's still a shliach would can't mevatel.
If you have to appoint him again as a shliach, there's certain halachas of how you appoint a shliach. Do you have to go through that again, or is he still a shliach? It's not enough community. Rabbi Kivegi speaks about this over here. Others as well. Okay, the next case of the Mishnah. Oy sheshalach achrav shliach. So not you yourself went to the shliach and told him that he's not a shliach. You sent a second shliach to the first shliach to tell him that he's not a shliach. Lomali, why does the Mishnah have to say this? Why would I think it's any different if you are mevatel, you send a shliach to be mevatel? Says the Gemara, mal de teime, because I would think to say, lo yalim shlichuse de basra. The second shliach is not strong enough mishlichuse de kama. From the first shliach to levatle, that he should have a power to be mevatel him. The first shliach says, shlichus loden kamaisai. I was appointed by the husband, so I am a shliach. You're not any stronger. You're not able to take that koyach away from me. Kamash Malon, that's what the Mishnah says, that the second shliach is stronger. He is able to be mevatel the first shliach. The next case it said in the Mishnah was, Kidmu etzel ishtai. If the husband went directly to his wife and told her that the get is bottle. So again, what's the chiddush here? Seemingly, it's all these cases of the Mishnah is the same point. That you have the koyach to be mevatel the get. What's the chiddush of the fact that he could do so by going directly to his wife? Says the Gemara, Mao the Taima, because over here I would think to say, Ki lo yamirina l'tziyura kamachaven. The point that we said before, that we have to be concerned that maybe the husband is not serious about this bittul. Maybe the words he says is just expressing the fact that he wants to be mitzayir her, he wants to just cause her pain. When do I say that that's not the case? Hanemilu l'shliach. When he goes and tells the shliach this, so then I say that he's not playing around with the shliach. He has no point in playing around with the shliach. So what he tells the shliach is serious. If after the husband sends a shliach, then he runs over to his wife and tells her that the get is bottle, why is he running over to his wife to tell her that? And here we definitely have to be concerned that he wants to be mitzayir her. Taisus over here spells out in the pshat in the Gemara. When the Gemara says the svar of litziyura kamachaven, it doesn't mean we know this for a fact. He's saying the get is bottle, but litziyura kamachaven we have to be concerned though. The fact that he's running directly to the wife, so it's a suffix. It could be that he's trying to be mitzayir her. Kamash Malan, therefore the Mishnah is saying, even if you went straight to the wife, we're not concerned that he just wants to be mitzayir her. The next case is said in the Mishnah, Oish shalach etzla shliach. He sends a shliach for the get, but then he sends a second shliach to go to his wife to tell her that it's not a get. Lo mali. Why is the Mishnah have to say this case? So over here, Mao the Taima, I would think to say in all previous cases, we're not chayshish that he stam wants to be mitzayir her, because iu hu deloy tarach adaited l'tziyura. He's not going to go out of his way to go all the way to his wife just in order to give her some pain. Kitarach, but the fact that he found someone that could go to his wife, and he doesn't care. Doesn't take any effort on his behalf. He's just sending someone else. Definitely, he's trying to be mitzayah her. Huh?
He just knocked out what he said before.
Why?
What he said before is that if I'm gonna go, if a Baal is gonna go by themselves,
that shows that he's l'tziyur kamachavin.
saying
No, before the point before was the fact that he's telling this information to the wife directly, whether he's telling it to her or a shliach is telling it to her. If he's giving this information to the shliach, so then what's going to end up happening? The shliach never goes to the isha b'chlal in the first place. If you tell the shliach directly that I appointed you, no, I'm a vatal the shlichus. The shliach will never make it to the isha. So she never knew that the get is coming. She never knew. But over here, what happens? He goes to the wife and tells her that the get is batal. So the shliach comes to the isha. Here, I have your get. No, my husband was just here an hour ago to tell me that his get is batal. That's a tremendous tzar. So the fact that he's going directly to the isha is a sibah why we would think that he's doing it to be mitzayah her. And then the Gemara adds, but maybe the tirche is a raya that it can't be just a tzar. A person doesn't go through tirche, normal person doesn't go through all this tirche just to cause tzar, hope. But, so then the Gemara adds, no, but if he sends a shliach, so there's no tirche on his behalf. So he's sending dafka to his wife, so vade letzira kamachavin. So maybe here we should be concerned that he wants to be mitzayah. Kamash Malon, so therefore the Gemara says, no, that's not the case. We're still not concerned that L'tzurika Mechaven and he was Mevatel L'shlichis. The last case that the Mishnah said, and what's the Chiddush in this case? Im Mishigia Get Liyoda, once she received the get, any Yochel Avatla. You can't be Mevatel L'shlichis anymore. Frek the Gemara, Pshita, obviously, she's divorced already. Answers the Gemara, the case of here is the Mahadar Allah Meikara Levituli. Is that he was running all this time. He was trying to reach the shliach before he got to the isha. And we know about this. We see that he was trying to get there on time. So I would think to say, even though he only said the words, he only got to the isha or to the shliach after he gave the get to the isha. But we can see from his actions that he did before that he was really mevatlet before. Kamash Malon, so the chiddush over here is that we don't say so. So Taisus here explains that the point is, why don't we say it so? Because dvarim shebelev einam dvarim. If he didn't say it b'dibur, even though he was running, but it's still considered to be dvarim shebelev.
Maybe he said it b'dibur. He said it. He didn't say it to her.
No, he didn't. No, if he said it b'dibur and he said it in front of a bezdin, so the Mishnah said that b'rishayna hayayisa bezdin b'makom acher could be that would take effect. We'll see later in the Gemara. If you say it
without a bezdin, he said
no, if you say it without a bezdin, then it's nothing. Person stands in his bedroom or wherever he is, and he says, "I'm about to get." It's garnished. He has to say it to a bezdin or at least to the shliach and the isha. The point of here regarding this case is, Taisus explains, usually dvarim shebelev einam dvarim is when a person just keeps it in his heart. Over here, he's not keeping it in his heart. He's doing whatever he can. He's running. The fact that he couldn't say it b'dibur is sort of an einus. Taisus actually, in one pshat, says that min atayre, this dvarim shebelev is not dvarim shebelev. It's like he expressed it by the fact that he's running. And the kamash balon of the Gemara is that midrabanan they consider it to be dvarim shebelev. Min atayre, this is not dvarim shebelev. Midrabanan, it's dvarim shebelev. And there's a second pshat in Taisus. He says that even min atayre, it's dvarim shebelev. And even when there's a case of a einus, doesn't matter if you have dvarim shebelev and you didn't say it, even though it was something out of your control. Too bad. It's dvarim shebelev. We learned in the Braise. In the Mishnah, it used the expression of what does the husband say? Batlhu. So here in this Braise, it says different kinds of expressions, of words a person can say to be mevatel the get. So if he says batlhu, which is the same as our Mishnah, or he uses another term, ef shibai, I don't want this get anymore, dvarav kayamin. So that is a good word, a good language to be mevatel the shlichus, to be mevatel the get.
To her.
Yeah. Either to her or to the shliach. Right, as we learned, either one of them. So these are words that are mevatel. But if he said paselhu, this get is pasel, or he said eine get, it's not a get, lo yamaklum, he didn't say anything. Because what does paselhu mean? He's not being mevatel it. He's not saying from now to the future that my decision now changed and I want to be mevatel it. He's just saying this get is pasel. Like he's saying it's pasel from before, but it's not. We know that it's not pasel. We know that it's a kosher get. You can't come and say that the get is pasel. That's not going to be mevatel it. Says the Gemara, frek the Gemara, lememre the bottle lishna the li bottle mashma. Shall we say that, like it said here in the Braise and in the Mishnah, that the word bottle hu means that future tense, that I'm going to be I'm the one that's being mevatlet now, and therefore that's an expression that is mevatl the get. But that this can't be, because there's another case where we see the opposite. Rabba Baravu said, Mekabel matana. A person receives a gift. Now this person, after he received the gift into his hands, so he made a Maisa Kinyan. He picked it up properly and he made a Kinyan already. So after it's in his hands, he says, Mivutelasi to bottle Yefshiba, these expressions. Layamaklum. What he said means nothing. Why do all these expressions mean nothing? Because all of these Lashonis are future tense. What he's saying is, now I want to be Mevatel this gift. By a gift, you can't be Mevatel by using terms that are future. You already have it. You already made the Kinyan. You can't say it's not mine from now forward. What do you mean it's not yours from now forward? It is yours. You already kind it. So it doesn't. So the gift remains yours. But if what the person said is this was bottle, betaylihi will mean from the past already. He's saying this is bottle from before, or eina matana, it never was a matana. Then dvar of kayamin, then it won't be a gift for him. Because as Rashi explains, what the person is basically saying is, even though it looks like I made a ma'isa kinyan, but he's being minded to us while I picked it up. I had a mind not to be zeich in it. So he's minded that it's not his. So therefore, it's not going to be. It's not his. It's not a gift. Says the Gemara. So Alma, what do I see here? Bottle may kara mashma. The term beteli here, bottle, the same thing, means past tense. By a matana, in order to be mevatel a matana, you have to use a lashon ava, past tense, to say that I was never zeich in it. By a get, in order to be mevatel a get, you have to use a future tense, that you're being mevatel it now. And we see that you can use the same term, batalhi, to be mevatel the get, and we consider batalhi to be future tense, and we can use the same lashon of batalhi or beteli regarding a matana as a past tense to say that it was never zeich in it. So what's going on? This terminology of batalhi, is it past or future? Amar Abaye, Abaye answers, batal shtei l'shonis mashma. The term batalhi actually is a term that could mean both. Mashma the bottle, it's mashma that it was bottle from before, and mashma the li bottle. But it also means that it will be bottle in the future. So therefore, gabe get lishna the bahani bekamar. By get, the person is using this as a term that will be effective to be mevatel the get. Gabe matana lishna the bahani bekamar. And by a matana, the person uses the lashon that's effective to be mevatel the matana. Person says words in a way that mistame, he wants to say it in a way that it's effective, and that's what his kavana is. So therefore, it's a terminology that can mean either or, and we go according to what it's effective in that situation. Amar Abaye, since we brought up matana in contrast to a get, or in connection to a get, so Abaye says, naktinon, we know the halacha is shliach matana areh shliach a get. A shliach delivering a matana is similar to the halacha of a shliach delivering a get. What similarity is relevant for what sense? Nafkemine, the relevance is lahoylech lav kazachidami. When you send a shliach to deliver a matana, so he's delivering it. But the recipient was not zeich in it yet. Remember, we had before in the first page, it discussed this, when a mashaleach gives a shliach, and he tells him, deliver. Is that right away? Are you right away zeich for the recipient? And the mashaleach cannot have charate? Or no, heilig, deliver. But it's not yet, no one was zeich in it yet. So the Gemara here is saying, heilig lav kazachidami, and therefore what? You could always be mevatel this matana, just like a get, until the time that the isha gets the get in her hands, you can be mevatel it. The same thing over here with the matana, you can be mevatel the matana. The Gemara goes back now here to different lushainus that a person can say to be mevatel a get. So Ravina Ashkechel Rav Nachman by Yitzchak, Ravina encountered Rav Nachman by Yitzchak, the Tali v'koi b'hibrid the dasha. He was standing and leaning on the doorpost of a komebayale, and he was asking the following question: Batul mahu. If the husband said this get is batul, not batul who. Batul who, as we said, could mean future. That's what the person is saying, that now he's being mevatel. But just the word batul, this get batul, without the word who. What's the halacha? Is it past or is it future? Says the Gemara Tekel. Gemara doesn't answer this. Or it was taught in a braise. Here, many different lashonos. Get zeh lo yoyel. This get should not be effective. Lo yater. It should not be matter the woman. Lo yaziv. It should not leave her go. Lo yishalech. It should not send her. Lo yigarish. It should not divorce her. Yehei cheres. It should be like earthenware. Yekich cheres, like earthenware. Dvar of kayamin. All these expressions are future tense, and therefore it's mevatel the get. He now, with this word, is being mevatel the get. What's if he said words that are past tense? Eina moyel, it does not work. Eina mater, it cannot be mater. Eina maiziv, it cannot leave or go. Eina mishalech, cannot send her. Eina megarish, it can't divorce. A cheresu, earthenware. Kicheres, it's like earthenware. Lo yamaklum. All these terminologies are past tense, so it's meaningless. He's saying something which is not true. He's not being mevatel to get. The Gemara asks a shaila. How about if the person said harehu cheres? This is cheres. What's the halacha here? On one hand, it's sort of similar to what he said before, that he's saying that it's cheres, which sounds like he's saying something which is opposite of the fact, so it's pointless. Or maybe harehu has a connotation of future, that he's saying now that it should be cheres because I'm being mevatlet. What's the difference between this terminology of harehu cheres to another terminology that we have in the Gemara? Maharehu hektish. When a person wants to be makdish something, so what does he say? Harehu hektish. Rashi brings you out this expression in the Gemara in the Dorim, harehu hektish. Or harehu hefker. When you want to be mafkir something, you also use the term of harehu hefker. So obviously in both cases, when you're being makdish something or being mafkir something, you need to use a term which is future tense. You're being makdish it now, or you're being mafkir it now. And over there, this expression works. So the same thing also with a get. We see from there that it's future tense. Now here, the Gemara goes back and brings a machlekes on the whole entire concept that we're talking about. Right? We're talking about a person that wants to be mevatel this get. But what really is happening here? Talk the Gemara. After the husband was mevatel this get, could he later on, if he changes his mind yet again, very indecisive, he gives a get, then he's mevatel, then he changes his mind again that he does want to use it, will he be able to take this get itself that he was mevatel before and divorce his wife with it? Once he was mevatel the get, he cannot take it again to use it to be mevatel. What's the question of the Gemara? What is the person doing? Is he being mevatel the get itself? Does the person, the Baal, have a koyach to make this get possible through being mevatel it? Or no, he doesn't have a koyach to be mevatel the get itself. He has a koyach to be mevatel the shlichus of the shliach, but he can't be mevatel the get itself. That's the Gemara shaila over here. The terminologies that the Gemara brought up before really sounds like he's being mevatel the get itself. Harehu batul, harehu kicheres. All these expressions sounds like he's talking about the get itself. But nevertheless, if you say that a person can't be mevatel a get, we're going to have to say that his intention was to be mevatel the shlichus. So the Gemara here brings a machlekes. You could use the get itself to divorce again with it because you're only being mevatel the shlichus, but not the get. But that no, you are being mevatel the get itself. You cannot divorce the isha with this get again. That's what the Rishonim over here explain, that the Rashber says that Taisus here brings up also in the beginning as well, that imagine a Sefer Torah. A person's going to write a Sefer Torah, and it also has to be written Lishma, similar to a get that has to be written Lishma. Then after he writes a Sefer Torah, he wants to be mevatel the kedusha of a Sefer Torah. Could you be mevatel the Sefer Torah from his kedusha? Of course not. It's a Sefer Torah. So Rav Nachman holds it's the same thing with a get. The get is a get. You can't be mevatel it anymore. But Rav Sheshes says, no, a get is not like a Sefer Torah. A get, it's not yet a Gemar Maisa. Sefer Torah, once it's written, it's a Sefer Torah. It's holy for itself, as is. A get is for the Gedushin. Until the Gedushin, it's not yet a finished product, sort of. It's like still something in the process. So therefore, you could be mevatel it. That's what Rav Ashi holds. Okay. Again, and that's why Enoch is in Megadishbay, because you were mevatel the get. Because the get is batal, so you can never use it again. The Hilchase Kvasei Rav Nachman. Says the Gemara, we paskin like Rav Nachman, that says that you're only being mevatel the shlichus, you cannot be mevatel the get itself. Frag the Gemara, how could you say that the halacha here is like Rav Nachman? But v'ha kaimelon, there's a similar machlekes that we have in a Gemara in Kiddushin, and over there we paskin Hilchase Kvasei Rav Yechanan. We paskin like Rav Yechanan. So what's that story over there in the Gemara? Over there it's talking about a person that gave kesef kedushin to a woman, but he tells her, this kedushin that I gave you here should only take effect in 30 days. So the actual kedushin did not take effect yet. And the woman was maskim. Right? And it can only be mekadesh isha midaita. She was maskim, she agreed. And then, within the 30 days, she comes back and says, I changed my mind. So Rabbi Yechanan says that she could change her mind. So the Amar Rabbi again, so we paskin there like Rabbi Yechanan. Rabbi Yechanan says, the Amar chizeres, that she can retract from her agreement that she gave. Right? So at this point, according to Rashi, the Gemara is thinking that what happens when she retracts from this? The kesef kiddushin that the husband gave her is not kesef kiddushin anymore. and the husband could take back the money. If he's going to want to be Mekadesh her again, he's going to have to give her the money a second time in order to be Mekadesh her, which means that her words, when she's Chayzer, her words are strong enough not only to take back her Haskama, her agreement that she gave before, but it's also strong enough to affect the status of the money itself. The money in the beginning was given as Kesef Kiddushin. Now when she takes that back, it's mevatel the Kesef Kiddushin. If she changes her mind yet again and she is going to agree to get married, she can't just keep the money. The husband's going to have to give it to her again. So we have a contradiction here. Rabbi Yechanan said that her words could take back, it could be mevatel her agreement, and could also be mevatel the Kesef Kiddushin. And here we're saying that we pass like Rav Nachman that you can't be mevatel the get. The pshat I'm saying here is the pshat in Rashi. This is the way the Rogatchover teaches the pshat in Rashi. There's other pshatim here in this Gemara that other Rishonim say, but this is the pshat that the Rogatchover says in the Gemara. So the Gemara answers, no, that's not the pshat in Rabbi Yechanan's opinion. Hochi hashta. How could you compare to what Rabbi Yechanan said there? Hasam dibur or diburu. Over there, it's the words that she said that she agrees to the marriage, and then there's the words that she says that she does not want to get married. That's all. Meaning, over there, the Kesef Kiddushin actually does not change. If she's going to later want to go and get married again, she changes her mind yet again, so then she can just keep the Kesef Kiddushin. Rabbi Yechanan never said that it's mevatel the status of the Kesef Kiddushin. So asi dibur mevatel dibur. She gave her agreement, but now she could retract that. But over here, nihi de batel shlichuse de shliach. You have the power with your words to be mevatel the shlichus, but gita gufa mika batel. Could you be mevatel the get itself? Just like Rabbi Yechanan over there is saying that you can't be mevatel the Kesef Kiddushin itself. You can't be mevatel the get. Like Rav Nachman said, once you write a get, you can't be mevatel. The get is here. You can't passel a get. So that's the maskan of the Gemara, that you can't. We pass like Rav Nachman that you can't. You could be mevatel the shlichus, but you can't be mevatel the get itself. Okay, let's learn one more piece over here. Okay. So the Gemara Barishayna Hayaisit said in our Mishnah that in the beginning you didn't have to be mevatel the get in front of the isha or the shliach herself. You can be mevatlet in front of a bezdin. Itmer, what does that mean, bezdin? B'fnei kama, how much is that bezdin? B'fnei kama mevatle, how many people? Rav Nachman Amar b'fnei beis. Bezdin in our Mishnah means only 2 people. That's enough. Rav Sheshes Amar b'fnei gimel. Rav Sheshes says in front of 3 people. Taisus here explains that why do you need 2 or 3 people before the takana of Rabbi Gamliel? Minat Torah. Why should you need anybody to be mevatel? Minat Torah, l'chayri, should be able to be mevatel without anybody. Taisva says because of the same chashash that Rabbi Gamliel had, that the Isha may not find out about this, and then the children that will be born later, if she gets married, will be mamzerim. So even before Rabbi Gamliel's takana, there was a previous takana, that you can't be mevatlet privately, because then she for sure won't find out about it. You at least have to do it in front of a bezin, which is 2 or 3, at least hopefully the message will get to her. That's Taisva's pshat. Now the Gemara says, why would we say that in our Mishnah when it says a bezdin, it means 2. Bezdin usually means 3. So it's like the Gemara of Rav Nachman Amar b'fnei beis. So Rav Nachman says that it's through 2 people. The lashon of the Mishnah, even though it says bezdin, but it means 2 people. Beitrei nami bezdin karilu, because 2 is also called a bezdin. Maybe I skipped a few words here before. Rav Sheshes says b'fnei gimel. I think I skipped Rav Sheshes. Rav Sheshes Amar b'fnei gimel b'fnei bezdin katani. It says bezdin. Bezdin is always 3. Rav Nachman says no. 2 could also be called a bezdin. Amar Rav Nachman min Allah. I'll bring you a source for this that 2 could be called a bezdin. The Tanah we learned in the Mishnah. This is the Mishnah of a pruzbul. The pruzbul is when it comes shmita, which is mevatel the whole loan. You don't have to pay back unless you're giving over your loans to the bezdin. We're going to learn this soon later in the Gemara about a pruzbul. So what does the Mishnah there say about a pruzbul? Misrani lefnechem pleni adayanim. I give over my loan to you 2 dayanim. Shebemakim pleni in this place, and then you can collect your loan. So over here it says pleni 2, and it calls it a bezdin. Rav Sheshes says no, there's no raya from there. Does the Tana like a peddler have to say pleni, and then a 3rd time pleni? It's self-understood that if it says bezdin, that it means 3 people. So therefore there's no raya from there. But Rav Nachman says, well, I'll bring you a raya from the end of that Mishnah. From where do I see that 2 could be a bezdin? It's not, because in the end of that Mishnah it says, Hadayanim, when you write a pruzbul, so in the way it's described in the Mishnah is that you have to write a document for a pruzbul. So Hadayanim Chaysn Lamata, you write a document that you're giving over the loan to the bezdin, and then the Dayanim of the bezdin have to sign on the bottom of the document. Or the Eidim that witnessed what happened, they have to sign it. So Rav Nachman says, my love, don't you think Dayanim dum yededim? That Dayanim, that sign, is similar to Edim, that sign, which means only two. Ma Edim Shnayim, just like Edim, that sign is two. Av Dayanim Nami Shnayim. Dayanim, that sign, could also be only two. So from here I see that Bezdin or Dayanim could be two, does not have to be three. But Rav Sheshe says, no, there's no raya from here. Midi area. Is there any raya from this? Hakadisa, Vakadisa. Dayanim is three and Edim are two. There's no comparison. Says the Gemara, if so, Lama Lila Misna Dayanim, Lama Lila Misna Edim. So then why is it saying Dayanim and Edim? According to Rav Nachman, the Chiddush was to say that Dayanim is like Edim, that it could only be two. But if Dayanim is like what it usually means, three, and Edim is two, so why is the Mishnah spelling out Dayanim and Edim? Says the Gemara, Hakamashmalon, the Chiddush over here is, the Loishna Kosov Beloshin Dayanim. You could write the actual principle itself in the Loshin that it's written by Dayanim. Here Rashi says you write Beidina Havina, you write that I was in a Bezdin, and I gave over to the Bezdin. So you're writing the whole document as the Bezdin's writing it. Never Chasmi Eidim. But the signatures below it are signatures of Pliny ben Pliny Eid. So the document itself is written from a Bezdin, but the signatures are from Eidim. Or V'loishna Kasav V'loshin Eidim. You can write the document itself as Eidim writing. Not Dayanim, but Rashi says Duchran Sa'adusa, like Eidim that write. We remember this Eidim. And V'chasmi Dayanim, and then the Dayanim sign at the bottom. Either way, the language of this document is going to be okay. That was the Chiddush according to Rav Sheshes.